do we got here? Bilsteins. We got some Bilsteins. Yeah, buddy. Good day, everyone. As you guys know, I got some Bilstein shocks finally. Finally, my car is not going to be going shaking my brains out. Now it's hopefully going to be smoother. Well, I don't know. I got the Bilsteins, the B8s, I believe they're called. The B8 models for lowered height vehicles, because my car is a little bit lowered by it has the Elevate GT springs, so it's a little bit stiffer, a little bit lower springs than original. So I think these are specifically designed for that, because the original ones that are not for lowered vehicles, they're designed to travel a little more spring travel than these ones are. So because you know you probably destroy the regular ones a lot quicker than these ones, because these ones are designed to move less than the original ones. Because if you have your car on original springs, the shock travels a lot more, so it's designed for that. But if you put lowering springs on it, it travels a lot less, so you're going to put a lot more pressure inside on it, and you're going to destroy it a lot quicker. So yeah, today we're going to show you guys maybe partially how to install it. I don't want to make a huge video, take up all your time, because I mean, if probably all know how to install shocks. If not, I mean, the video might not help you too much. So I'm gonna install it and then test drive it for you, tell you guys how how they feel. So I got the shock out. I kind of had to pry the knuckle down and just smack it. I kind of pried it. I kind of pushed it up with the jack, pushed on the rotor, raised it, and then put this metal piece underneath the shock to hold it up, and then just tapped it on the knuckle itself right here. And so to get it out, once I got it out, I pried it down and moved it to a side and got the shock out. And here's pretty basic. You take the clips out, and then there's 3 bolts, one there, one here, and one over there right underneath the plastic, and it comes right out. Once I took it apart, I got this compression tool for like 25 bucks online. Compress the spring, take take it out. But the only thing I noticed is, like, you're probably gonna end up tearing the bearing apart. Mine was making funny noises, so I bought a new one already. I didn't want to just leave the same ones in there, so I bought new ones, so I didn't have to worry about that. I took it off, and then this is the 2 shocks, the Bilstein B8 for lowered height vehicles, this one here, and I'm gonna swap the springs over, and then you're gonna have to get the cushions, or whatever you want to call it, or the spring seats, the rubber ones. I'm pretty sure from the bottom I had to grab one, and then I'm also gonna have to grab it off the bearing itself. There's this rubber piece right here, like that. I have to put it on the new bearing. So these are good. So yeah, I'm gonna swap that over, and then should be good to go. So we got the strut, one of them in. It took me probably like an hour and a half if you count in total, but this is the first one. So I have never done struts on this car, plus it's at home. It's a little bit easier on the lift, but still, it took me about an hour and a half, hour maybe each on this one, because I took my time and I kind of just trying to figure everything out. But yeah, that's in. That's the new strut. That's the springs. I had the K-Pax string. It says K-Pax on the springs themselves. So yeah, it's all installed, all good. I torqued it to spec, all the bolts, because you kind of want it to be at least a torque. And then same thing on top. On top, when you install it, just take this cover off, pop these off, and then you'll see the strut bolts. Just torque those as well. So yeah, the first one is down. 3 more to go. I may just do 2 today, we'll see, because the weather's not looking that nice. Kind of raining a little bit. I'm covered, but we'll see. We got the second one in. We're about what, 3? What time did we start? 4 or so. Yeah, we're about 3 hours, 3.5 hours in. We got the front ones in. The challenging part is just muscling I didn't want to take the tie rods or the control arm joint out. I just kind of took the sway bar link off, and then just pried with the rotor the whole knuckle down, and then put a stop right there, and then pretty much taking the shock out and putting it back into the knuckle was the most challenging part. Everything else is pretty easy, pretty straightforward. So when you guys put in the shock into the knuckle, so the way how if you put it in all the way, if you look on the back there, you see the little earpiece right there. Let me see, right there. It hits the knuckle and doesn't let you go all the way in anymore. So that's how you know that you guys have it far enough already. So yeah, pretty straightforward install. A little bit challenging doing it yourself. It's probably easier a little bit doing it with somebody and then having a jack of some sort or some support to support this, but other than that it's pretty straightforward, pretty easy. All right, so we got the rear shock out on the bottom. So it has one bolt on the bottom with this one right here, and then one and then two on top holding it from the outside here. So you don't need to take you know, all your interior off to get to those bolts. It's just from the outside. Those bolts go right here, and then once you take it out, you got to take this bolt nut out off and then swap this coupling right here to the new shock and put it back in. Okay, so the rear shock is in. There's the two bolts that I was talking about. You take those two off, and then there's one bolt underneath there. It's not in one piece with the spring, so when you get the shock loose, it does not loosen the spring. The spring is on the control arm and the shock is separated, so that's really good. It makes the job a whole lot easier. You don't have to compress the spring. You just take the bolt out on the bottom and those two, and it comes right out. There's no tension on it. So yeah, it's pretty straightforward, pretty easy. Now that we finished everything, I'm test driving. Well, I test drove the car a little bit already because I wanted the shocks to set in so I can give you the real reaction, how the shocks actually are, you know, because the shocks need time to set in before you can see how they actually work. So anyways, the shocks are really nice. I really like them. I really like how they are, you know, how they function. It absorbs all the bumps on the road. Like, it kind of gives you the sensation, the feeling that kind of how you're driving on the sand. If any of you guys have drove on the sand before, that's kind of the same feeling that these shocks, after you install these shocks, that's how you feel. So yeah, it's really nice. I love the shocks. I got the ones, the B8s, the Bilstein B8s. They're for lowered height vehicles from IPD. Thank you IPD for hooking me up with those. They're really awesome. The only bad thing, well, it's not has nothing to do with the, you know, with these new shocks, but it definitely has to do with me not changing them in time. I drove with bad shocks for like half a year, and I probably destroyed my ball joints because going over small bumps, I can definitely feel the clunk or the clunking kind of noise in the ball joints. I checked the tire rods and all that, they were good. So that's the only thing that pretty much that it could be. I checked all the bushings, the sway bar bushings, and all the rest of them, the control arm bushings. The only thing I didn't check was that ball joint on the control arm, and it's one unit. That's probably gonna be pretty expensive. So anyways, that's the only bad thing. But other than that, I love the shocks. I would definitely recommend them. It's a big upgrade. Even if your shocks are not that bad and you think it's time to do them, definitely I would recommend the Bilsteins. They're kind of, you know, it's smooth but not too smooth that the car is loose, but it's stiff, and it's not too stiff, you know. It's really nice. It's a really nice combo. I think Bilsteins nailed the design and everything with these shocks, so they're really awesome. I would definitely recommend them if anybody's, you know, looking for shocks in the market. Those are awesome shocks. But if anybody has a control arms, some used one with low miles that trying to hook me up for cheap, let me know, because I'm pretty sure these are going to be pretty spendy to change. I'm probably going to have to do both of them, because I'm pretty sure the driver's one is a for sure shot, because I can hear pretty loud. That one, I don't know if it's the sensation sometimes that feels like the right one as well, but yeah, so I'm gonna have to get those. So that's gonna be a wrap for today's video. Hopefully, you know, it helped somebody out. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I try to kind of show you guys the most important steps on how to do these shocks on these cars, on our P3 models. There's not really an easy way to do it. Even if I showed you little by little steps, it's probably not going to make your job much easier, because it kind of isn't, especially the front. The back ones are pretty easy to do, but the front ones are not easy to do. So yeah, I try to kind of include the most important steps along the way, you know, how to install these. So it's pretty straightforward. I mean, hopefully this helps somebody out. So yeah, hit the thumbs up button on the video, subscribe to the channel, recommend my channel to your friends, and as usual, see you next time.